And today I'm hanging out with General Manager of Centonomy, Mr. Waithaka Gatumia, and we're simply talking about men and finances. And I just want us to jump straight into it. Because I know, because I know you deal a lot with finances, you do a lot of classes.
Yeah.
What are some of the common mistakes that you've seen most men make when it comes to money?
Going it alone. You know, guys, and it's a thing that we all have. You know, we think that part of the whole manly journey is that I can do it. It's me. And
Yes.
me, myself, and I. There's this whole myth of the self-made man. And I think that's probably the place to start. Going it alone. And if you look at anyone who's ever been a success around this world, it's not something they did by themselves. There's always a supporting network around them. There's always somebody who's given them that inspiration. There's somebody they're following. So that idea that you're going to go it alone, that's how you can be picked off really easily. I mean, if you're in an army and you go as a team, you go as a battalion, you go with your boys, so that there's always somebody who has your back, and also there's somebody who's guiding you and leading you forward. So I would say probably, guys, the biggest thing is we go it alone. We think we know. Okay?
Yeah.
I think I know. And therefore, maybe I don't research as much. I don't ask the right questions. Even in our classes, we notice that in our classes, many times there's more ladies than men. You see, ladies, they enjoy learning.
Yes.
And they understand that there's knowledge out there. But guys want to say, but me, I know I can invest. I'm Bitcoin. I don't know what. That's what guys are doing.
Yeah.
And there's a macho side to it. But I would say, don't go it alone. Learn from someone else. And then have guys who are around you who can keep you in check and just say, hey, dude, how things are going.
Yes.
What are you doing about this? And hopefully that will help you grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then now, there's a report that says that men are malnourished and women are obese. So, I mean, is this possible that maybe men are spending too much money on women?
See, I have to speak very carefully at this moment because in my household I am the only man.
Oh, yeah.
So as you know, I'm the only guy in my household.
Yeah.
So let me say this. I think it's an irresponsible man who's only spending on himself.
Yes.
I mean, on women. I think you must also develop yourself. You must also have a plan, a personal plan. And guess what? I think, in my understanding, if you have a plan and you're growing as a man, that makes you more attractive. At least that's what I've seen. In my experience, a guy who has money and has a plan, ladies will gravitate towards you.
Yes.
That's just me.
And
but,
for you, I want to get a bit personal.
Sure.
For you as Waithaka,
Yes.
what are some of the mistakes that you made earlier on, especially in regards to finances as a man?
Wow. Starting to save too late. And you know that idea that apparently there's little money. You know,
yes.
Thinking that saving 100 bob is nothing. But now when I look back and I say, if I had done 100 bob a month, like since I started working, what that would amount to. And I mean, like the numbers would shock you.
Yes.
So the idea that there'll come a time, you know, men, we think saving, let me tell you, Chito, men, we think saving is when you have 10,000 bob, then you put it in account. Apparently that's saving. We've never been taught that it's 5 bob out of everything that you spend. It's the change in your pocket that's coming up. That if you put that aside over time, it actually adds up.
Wow.
And so, for me, it was starting saving late. So please don't start saving late. I'm talking to the 15-year-old who's listening right now. That 5 bob that you have, if you invest it right now, will be worth a lot more by the time you're my age.
In fact,
in your 30s,
you've mentioned
40s,
investments. When we get back, I want us to get a bit into that. Right now, here is getting into the whole conversation of finances, money, and all that it entails. And later on, I'm going to be playing a song from a young man called Diamond. Now, Diamond Platnumz is a Tanzanian artist. Last year, he was valued at about $4 million US. So he's doing really, really well.
Really?
Now, the thing is, Diamond Platnumz has baby mamas all over the place.
Well, okay.
What will the financial implications of that be?
Well, where do you even start? Okay. Here's the thing, and I guess that's the reason that you're doing this whole series called Man Up.
Yes.
It's take responsibility. Men, come on. That's the whole point of that statement. Man up. It means take responsibility. So if you have dependents that you're dealing with, if you have people who are depending on you, definitely then that 4 million shillings you are sharing amongst all those children that are out there.
Yeah.
And it's really, that's the thinking that you have to have. So why get into that situation? And even by law, and depending on the law, I guess that's in TZ in Kenya. If you are a child and you can prove paternity, then you have rights to your father's wealth as it comes along. So, what is the point? What is the aim of what you're trying to achieve? And are you aware of what it is that you're going to do? I know we've got our different cultures and different experiences, but the description that you've just given is not somebody who had a plan. It kind of just happened along the way.
In fact, some of them he denied at first. Then when it was proved beyond reasonable doubt, took responsibility. Yeah,
so if you're taking the responsibility, then that means you're thinking down the line, what does that mean for each one of them? So if there are multiple children, begin to think each one of them will, at some point, God willing, go to college. That's some money. You want to leave an inheritance. That's some money too. So even that $4 million that you're talking about right now, 400 million shillings, Kenya shillings, if you look at it that way, it must cater for the family and all these children as well. How will it do that? Because it's so easy to then spend a lot of cash at this time and then not have an income in the future.
Yes.
So as men, you need to be building up assets that begin to pay you back, give you an income and give you a return over time, so that now less and less, as you grow older, you stop having the energy to work as much as you wanted to. So you want to have as much income coming in later on. And so I don't know whether that helps at this moment.
It does help. Because you've introduced assets.
Yes.
I know when I was reading a book called Rich Man, Poor Dad, he says a house is not an asset. He says that's a liability.
Well,
so explain. I know you are a financial man. He says a house is not an asset.
Yes.
That's a liability. He talks about property and all these things. According to him, assets are now like income coming through from your investments.
That's right. So define the house. So a house that you own and are living in is not an asset, because essentially what is it providing for you other than the roof over your head? And it's a good thing. It also provides a good sense. Kenyans, the Kenyan dream.
Yes.
The Kenyan dream is to own a plot. It's not the American dream. The Kenyan dream is to own a plot, build a house and live in it.
Yes.
No problem. But you see, the problem is if you then don't have any income coming in later on in life, when you're not working, then it doesn't function as an asset. In fact, that house that you own, don't you maintain it?
Yes.
Don't you have security guards? You have a house help to help you to do that as well. So you're putting money into it, and it's not necessarily giving back money. I know everyone argues, but I'm not paying rent. That's true, you're not paying rent. Good, but there's no actual money that is coming in. And the fact of the matter is, when the rubber hits the road and you now are asked, how do you get the money out of this asset called your home? You either have to rent it or sell it. And most of the time, that was not the intention.
Yes.
So that's what he's saying. So a house can be an asset. Please own. Yes. I know, I don't want to steal the Kenyan dream from you, Chito. Own a home and a plot. Do so.
Yes.
But understand the role that it plays. So sometimes I've seen it over and over again. There are some guys who are renting, but they own houses. Houses bigger than the place they're renting.
Yes, I've actually also seen that.
You've seen that around.
I think about 2 or 3 friends of mine who are doing that right now.
Those are wise guys. You know why? Because it means that house that they own is paying for the rent they're living, and also putting money in their pocket for other investments.
Yes.
That now begins to become wisdom. And then as you build the assets, even if you move into your own home, you'll still have other properties, other houses, and other apartments, whatever it is, land that is bringing in an income. So the problem is, if the only asset you have is your house, how do you get the money out of it?
Yeah.
That's the question.
And now we've spoken about a house thing. Now I want us to come back down to a student. I mean, there's a guy who's in uni.
Who does not have a house.
Who doesn't have a house. How then would you advise a student to make extra money or start to build an investment portfolio?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big word I've used.
It is. Kenyan students, let me speak to you, because these are the guys I need to speak to.
Yes.
I've traveled around this world, and the fact of the matter is, by the time somebody is 16, in most of the developed world, they are working.
Yes.
They are busy in a shop somewhere selling, they are busy doing. So by the time they have finished their college, starting from 15, they have almost 10 years worth of experience.
Yes.
You Kenyan student who I'm talking to right now, and you're in college and saying, I'll get a job after this, you're going to graduate with over 100,000 other students in Kenya.
Yes.
What will differentiate you from those other students? Here's the thing. You student, my friend, my brother, I'm speaking to the boy child now. I'm speaking to you, my friend. please go and work somewhere. Even if it is work for free, guess what you're getting?
Experience.
You're getting experience. I'm speaking to you now. And if you bring value to that workplace, believe me, they'll start paying you. I have seen it in our office. And unfortunately, the only place I've seen it is in young ladies. We have had young ladies who have come in as interns, amazing young ladies. Can I give a shout out to
Yes,
Esther
yes.
and to Nelly, who joined us as interns? And let me tell you, they came and wowed us to the point that we said we cannot let these girls go. Nelly is still in college.
Wow.
Esther is still in college. They're still trying to figure out, and we are paying them now.
I was working at a different radio station, and I started I was an intern for like 6 months before they ever put me on air.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But you are building experience that now you put on your CV that makes you worth more. But the problem is, guys are saying, I want an internship that will pay me. No. The payment you're getting is called experience. So when you said I should talk to the guys who are in college right now, build your portfolio, build your experience, so that when you're writing now and you're getting a job, you'll say by the time you've left college, you can have over 4 years experience working.
Yes.
And when I look at your CV versus I look at somebody else's CV who didn't ever do anything and all they did was in school, yes, they've got A grades, but I want experience in a workplace.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for.
And what about those guys who are getting good pocket? Let's say in a week, an average student in college is getting about maybe 1,500 to 3,000 bob. Average, depending on the family you come from, but averagely that's what they're given.
Yes.
How can that guy between 1.5 and 3K make some invest? Or even if it's someone who's getting 1,000 bob a week, how would you advise them to save?
Here's the point. It starts off with simply the discipline, the plan to save. You see, the thing is, we look at it and say, remember I told you guys think of 10K as what you say, 10,000 bob.
Yes.
How do you get to 10,000 bob? If you're saving day by day, week by week, month by month, you'll get to that 10K. Then that 10K, you'll put it somewhere. So the point is this. Don't spend everything you earn. And let me tell you, that policy of spending everything you get follows you until even your 50s. We have guys in the Centonomy classes who are in their 50s who, what has happened is, as their income has increased, their spending increases to match that income. Here's the point. When you get more money, save more. That's where wealth comes. When more money comes in, save more.
I feel like you need to repeat that part. When you get more money,
save more. Let that be your priority. Put aside more. Even though your expenses may increase, make sure your saving is also increasing.
Yes.
The danger is we always increase our spending to match our income. And that's the biggest problem that we have. So even when you're in college, by the way, what costs do you have in college? Those guys who are earning 3K, they're most likely living with their parents or they're being paid for in a hostel. So what are your costs? It's really going out, it's the extras around life. So you can really just look at it and say, what really matters? Do I need to eat out, maybe buy chips during the week, or can I save that, cook a little bit, and then on the weekend is when I go and now have a good meal? Kwanzaa, now you'll be the guy who'll be able to take the lady to a nice place rather than to the same chips place you've been taking guys to the whole week. Do you get what I'm saying? That you have a goal. And many times the problem is that we don't even have a plan. I think even if it's for something that you really like, if you make it a plan, then you start acting towards that goal. Many of you guys are thinking, you might be thinking that you want to buy, let's say, a phone. That phone will cost you some money. And I know but it'll make you feel good about yourself. It'll make you look cool and all those things. So why don't you plan and say, next year I want to own this type of phone. How much will it cost? What do I need to put aside until then? I know it sounds like, parents, please don't beat me up. But you see, the thing is, it's the principle of working towards a goal. And when you learn that, hey, you know what? I can actually earn this amount and put it aside and be the one to buy my own phone. Then guess what? You start thinking, guess what? I can probably buy a plot of land somewhere.
Because I've actually heard that thing. It's always about the goal. Save towards something or invest towards something.
There you go.
When you're working towards that, it will always push. So when you achieve that level, you know, I've done this. Next level.
It's called incentive.
When we get back, we got to talk more about business and a young man. How much capital do you need? Men and money with General Manager of Centonomy, Mr. Waithaka Gatumia. And I noticed you did a video on your YouTube about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because I know this is one of the things that many young people are running towards. And you had said, do not invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency.
Why did you just give me an accent? Why did you give me an accent?
No, but you said it with like, do not. It sounds like I was just taking your tone in that moment.
Ask the question.
So then,
yes.
Why did you say that?
Well, okay. if you watched to the end,
yes,
it was a warning. And
yes.
I guess the idea is this: don't invest in things you don't understand. So I was saying, do not invest if you don't understand. There are Kenyans right now who are making money in cryptocurrency because they understand it and they're actually moving forward. So I'm not saying don't invest. I said do not invest if you don't understand. I put don't invest because I wanted to catch your attention, and obviously it caught your attention. But here's the point. When it comes to investments, you must understand what you're doing. Because, for instance, in cryptocurrency, at the moment, there's so many things up in the air, and we don't know what the future will be. We hope it will be really good. We hope it'll grow it. We hope it'll make the world a more united place, that it'll reduce the issues of currency manipulation and all these different things around the world, and make it easier to pass money from one place to another. Those are all the good things. However, there's also, if deregulation in places, regulation, not deregulation, but regulation coming in can really affect what happens there. So here's the principle. Let's not just talk about cryptocurrencies. Even if you're investing in the stock exchange, even if you're investing in real estate, understand how they function first and then begin to invest. So if you've not done your research and you're just being like the rest of Kenyans who tend to just follow the herd, you know what I mean? And we've had these phases of herds. Remember, it used to be IPOs.
Yes. Oh, I remember
Safaricom IPO, Kengen IPO, and everyone was going, and people would come in and lose money. But guess what? The guys who understood the stock market and understood how it worked made money. The guys who didn't, they just came along for the ride and said, this thing doesn't work, it's gambling, it's what? No, it's not. Because you didn't understand. You are listening to advertising, you are not listening to a stockbroker who would have told you what to do. The same thing came up with agriculture. So now agriculture became the in
quail
thing.
Eggs.
You took the words out of my mouth. We said, now we're going to invest in quail eggs to sell to who? Which Kenyan do you know who has, in the last 1 week, eaten a quail egg or even knows what it is?
The last 1 year.
That's the point. So there were too many people in the market. Are there people right now in Kenya who are making money off quail eggs?
Yes, there are.
Yes, because they understand the market. And so if you don't have the market, if you don't understand the investment, don't get into it. So the point is this: do your research. Go to somebody. Remember we said in the first segment we talked about don't go it alone.
Yes.
Make sure you talk to somebody who understands. Speak to an expert. You know, the problem is we say, I don't want to pay this guy some money to tell me what I already know. He or she may know something a little bit more than you, and the experience that in the investment area they have may help you. So pay that money so that you understand and then make the investment. I'm telling you, what I have found is that often the wealthiest people that I've come across are often the most humble. They ask the most questions. In our classes at Centonomy, the guys who follow up afterwards are the guys who have more money than you. You know, I feel sometimes when people ask me, what do you think about this? And this guy who you're talking to owns 10 businesses. He's worth now 100 million. You know what I mean? But he's willing to say, you said this in the class. I've never heard this before. Can you explain it to me? But many guys who come to class who are not involved and who don't have money, they don't ask the questions. And we've seen it with all our expert trainers who come on board because they keep saying the guys who follow up are the guys who are wealthy. They're humble enough to ask the question, because in asking that question you make a wise decision. Men, don't go it alone. Ask the right question to the right person. And then when it comes to, as a young person wants to start a business, I know it's a question that's often asked, but I usually say sometimes somebody may not know. Where would a young man get capital from? Because you have Dangote who said his uncle gave him $3,000. Then you have another guy who says, no, I took a loan. You have another guy who says, no, my dad helped me out with the capital. Where are some of the best places, especially for young men, to get capital to invest in business? There's one of our trainers, I can't remember it exactly. It's Friends, Family, and Fools, the triple F. You know what I mean? I mean, those are the guys to go to. Yes, because you know, at the startup stage, it's all potential. And so that money, really, you're not sure whether it'll come back or not. And so at that stage, you want good people who will give you money and not charge you a lot for it, and hopefully may not even charge you a lot. So like, I give thanks to God for my parents who, when I was starting out my business, bought me my first camera, because I have a business which is in production. And so they helped me buy, because the camera was the big investment. So they helped me buy the camera, and that was started me off. So talk to your parents, and if your parents are not able to, maybe you have a relative who might be willing to help you out. And please don't go with the expectation that everyone has to give you money. That's the other mistake we make. If somebody is able to, good. If they're not, it doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that maybe they don't have the money at that time, or their money is meant for other things. That's the other problem we have with families. Guys expect just because you're rich that you should give me money. No.
Yes.
The person who's rich in your family is rich because they've minded every cent that they have, and they know what they are purposeful with their money. So friends, family, and fools. I know I use that as a...
Yes, I was actually going to ask you, who are the fools?
I've probably stolen that from somebody. You may need to Google where that came from, but I know I stole it from somewhere. But it's guys who are willing to take a risk, and just say, you know what, hey, why don't you try this out? And they're not asking you for the money back soon enough. But sometimes a business does not even require cash capital. Sometimes that's the thing we make a mistake and say, I need the money to do this. Have you tested it? Have you tried it out? Have you even done your first, draft? Have you looked at opportunities that are around you? Because the mistake that we make is that we think it's all about the money. And it's not. I'm telling you, you can sink a lot of money into a business idea, and if you've never tested it, if you've not tried it out, if you've not actually done the work, the money will not save that business. Whereas if you start on the right side and you actually planned, made a plan, tested it, worked it, gone into the market, and come back with some real evidence that this is something that the market needs, then the money will find you. We say this at Centonomy all the time. Create value, and money will find you.
Oh, wow. I remember somebody actually told me that when I was planning to get into radio.
Yes.
I was thinking, I wanted to do law.
Yeah.
I was thinking, man, the money in law.
Yes.
And I knew I was smart at it, but my passion was really on radio.
Yeah.
And one of the things my father told me was, Sonny, follow your passion, money will follow you there.
Will. But it's not just following your passion.
Yeah.
Because many people, I'm an artist, I'm going to rap.
And you don't know how to rap.
You don't know how to do it. I'm an artist, you don't know how to sing.
Yes.
And you're expecting people to pay you for that. No, do the hard work, which is creating that value. Go sing in those clubs. I don't understand these guys who come and try and sell me their CD in traffic. I've never seen you. I don't know what's on that CD. I don't want your music.
Yes.
But there's some guys, you go to a gig somewhere and you hear them play and you're just like, where is your CD? You're actually asking for the product because they have created that value. So create the value first. Even a good business plan is value. If you can show somebody, this is what I've done, I've tested, this is what it is, that is value, and money will find you.
Yes.
There's money, a lot of money in this world looking for good value. But the problem is they're looking for good value, not just for any idea that's out there in this world. And so if you're thinking about it out there, there's venture capital, there's guys who are looking to invest individually. There's many different places that people, even your own family, will put money in you if they trust you. But if you're just that guy, he's a guy of many ideas, many different stories, then they won't give you money if they can't trust you.
Yes.
So here's the point. Create value and money will find you. Even in your job. Can I speak to the guys in their jobs?
Yes.
In your job, the reason you have not gotten a raise is not because why does your boss want to give you a raise? He doesn't. But if you become valuable in your workplace, like Tito, we were talking before, I think you've hit 4 million listeners on this show.
Yes.
You've moved it up from, was it less than 2 million?
It was at 1.2.
And you've more than doubled.
Yeah.
I am sure there's somebody here at Kiss who's saying, has Tito been taken out for lunch somewhere? Why? Because you have created value for this company. Yeah. And when you do so, then when you go to negotiate now for a pay rise or for a different job in that company, then the money will come.
Yes.
But we are busy looking for the money first.
Before the value.
Before creating
You're
the value.
Putting the cart before the horse.
If you give me the money, I'll create the value. No. Even all these stories of great like, I know Facebook is in trouble at this moment, but you listen to the story around Facebook and stuff. They had already created the value, and people now looked for money to put into it.
Yes.
In Kenya here, all the different companies that have grown rapidly, it's because they have done the same. Created value, then people say, hey, if I put my money there, then it'll come back to me eventually.
Yes.
It's the whole Java story. That's the one that really inspired me. That Java built a brand to the point that guys said, you know what, I'll put money into this, and that money should grow the Java until a certain point, and then they'll get out. But
In fact, is that what they've done? Like, that's what they did. They sold it off.
They did.
Yeah.
That's
the
the
guy
point.
has walked away with his millions.
That's the thing.
And so I know you guys have an open day. If a young man is looking for a chance, they're saying, you know what, I want to meet this Waithaka Gatumia and get more information for
Come.
him. Where can they get you?
19th of May will be at All Saints Cathedral, and then we're also talking about entrepreneurship. We're dealing with the toolkit for every business on the 12th, which is the weekend before that, and it'll be at Museum Hill. So we have some really good conversations around that. So the open day is free 19th, but for talking about money, entrepreneurship, we don't do it for free. You come and pay, but just a small amount, 5 SOC for that day on the 12th. We'd love to have you guys there.